Hello and welcome to DappRadar's Off the Blockchain. Good morning if you're waking, good afternoon if you're lunching, and good evening if sleep isn't too far away. As always, you have me, your host Charlie, and beside me I have my equally steadfast companions as we attempt to navigate the volatile waters of the Web3 ocean. First off, we have Robert Hogendoorn, content creator, play-to-earn gamer, and holder of enough NFTs to launch his own secondary marketplace. GameStop and Meta, watch out.
I never sell, man.
And over, hold all day. And over there is Ian Kane, bear market survivor, altcoin purveyor, and a man who can spot the bullshit a mile away, even if it has a sky-high APY. Now, remember, you can catch us on YouTube and Spotify, so if you're a face person or a sound person, we've got you covered. Right, what's coming up in today's show? We'll be recapping DappRadar's latest community call, and we'll be putting a link for it in the show notes. The team took us through loads of updates and new features coming to the site. My favorite one personally is the cross-chain staking, which looks to me like a bit of a game changer. We'll also be talking about ENS names. What are they? Where do they come from? What do people use them for? And why are people paying exorbitant fees for what seem to be website domains? And finally, where has the D gone from DeFi? Blockchain technology offered us a brand new world of transparency and security where corruption was impossible and the powers that be could be held to account. But then Solen started taking over a whale wallet and Celsius stopped people from withdrawing their money. And now everyone's asking questions about who has the power. We've got thumbs up or thumbs down, where Ian and Rob will be giving us their hot takes from some of the latest news stories. But before we get to any of that, let's take a step back, take a moment, and find out how the two wonderful people I can see on my screen are doing. Ian, how's your foray into the world of NFT adult content treating you? Has your innocence remained intact?
All right, yeah, no, it was good fun this week looking at adult.
Just to say, Ian's not just watching porn at work. There's a reason for
it. I was researching adult tokens. researching adult tokens this week, and it's pretty funny because literally you find one and you're like, you start reading, and you're like, oh, this looks kind of, oh no, it's a scam, and then you go to the next one, you're like, oh, this one's kind of, no, that's a scam. So there's really not much going on out there, but yeah, that was pretty interesting to look at. I got an education, let's say that much.
Good. It's always good to have an education. Rob, let's talk us through your week. What's happened? What's on the horizon?
Yeah, to be honest, personally, for me, not that much. Surviving the bear market, slowly starting to see some opportunities, experiencing NFTYC from a distance. All hail Twitter, the new almost Elon Musk empire. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's all fine. Like I'm actually excited. Like I got Disney Plus yesterday, so finally. So
have you been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yes, I started it. Yeah,
it's good.
So I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm watching Ms. Marvel, and tonight Doctor Strange #2 goes on Disney Plus. So
nice.
I'm in a happy spot right now. Lots of geekiness going on.
And have you watched The Mandalorian yet?
Yeah. I downloaded that.
Yeah. that was good as well. I wasn't such a fan of Boba Fett, but I thought The Mandalorian was good.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, let's have a quick game of thumbs up or thumbs down to get your brains warmed up. First one I'm going to go with is Ukraine just sold a CryptoPunk for $100,000 to help in its war effort. So there's a bit of crossover between the real world and our world of Web3. Thumbs up or thumbs down on that piece of news? Good. I'd be surprised if it was anything but. Yeah, it's amazing that people are getting sort of these pictures from the blockchain and selling them for so much money to actually help something that's quite important in the real world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like purely from an investor, point of view, like they should have sold it immediately when they got it. They would have gotten a lot more. Yeah, a lot more money for it.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
Even though CryptoPunk had its little sort of rise in price over the weekend, it's still the old days that they could have got a lot more for it. You're right. Yeah. Right, second one. Following the record-breaking hack in March, the Ronan Bridge is on track to reopen before the end of June. So at some point in the next week, that'll be back online. Following that huge hack, $600 million was stolen. The bridge will be back online, which means that people can maybe transfer their money out or just be happy that they get their hands on it. So thumbs up or thumbs down on that one? Yeah, I thought that was quite good news myself.
Yeah.
Good to see they didn't completely collapse.
Just so you know, like the money, like everything you have on Ronin is already accessible. Like the internal swapping systems are already live, etc. It's just you can't take your money out of Ronin, except if you have a Binance account. You can move it through Binance onto your bank account.
Yeah.
So it's already possible, but it's just the bridge is a necessity, and it's.
But yeah, when I mean access, I mean like you can kind of like now take it out, and I imagine there probably will be some people who maybe think, sort of once bitten, twice shy. I've had my feet burnt. Maybe I'll just take my money and put it in somewhere else. But
that's likely to happen. Yeah.
It's good news that the game can carry on. They've actually sorted it out because it was obviously a lot of money that went. So it's good that they're back on their feet to an extent. Nice. Now this one, it might be a bit of an obvious one, but I want your thumbs up or thumbs down on the ongoing bear market. Because you'd think it would be thumbs down.
Double thumbs up.
Yeah.
Literally, like,
I will keep it like this. I'm sad to see my. Okay, let's put it like this. During the bull market, every week I would sit down with my Excel sheet to calculate how much I had. I haven't done that in a while, and there's a reason for that. That being said, like, this bear market going on, like I'm now getting the hang of it, and I'm getting comfortable with it, and I kind of feel like, okay, time to do some research, time to realign my money and see where I want to put it, where I believe in what I believe. So investment opportunity.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm the same. Like even when it first kind of happened, like it was expected, but I'd say this week more than any, I've really come to terms with the idea. Like Rob says, it's fun when you check in your portfolio and you're up, and you start to think about what you could do with this money. And luckily I got out quite a lot, so I'm not too sad. But mainly I'm excited, like Rob says as well. It's I'm looking at things that I thought about last year where perhaps I thought I was too late or I'd missed the chance, and I just feel very good. It's an opportunity. Why look at it as anything other than an opportunity? You're only going to depress yourself otherwise. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you got involved in April, then you maybe be like, where's all my money gone?
Yeah, like.
But for me, it's kind of been happening since January anyway. Things have been going downhill, so it's not really that much of a shock when they kind of fell off a cliff, because it's like,
exactly. And then look what's happening in the world too. Like if anybody expected,
there are worse things,
markets to continue to sky high while the world collapses. Pretty naive. Like I don't think it was ever going to happen.
And I also see this as an opportunity, like Ian said, to see whether you can now step into something which was not available to you earlier. Like, I mean, I'm still not going to pay $50,000 for a CryptoPunk, but simply because I don't really have the money. But before you would need to pay $300,000.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like if you are already you already have quite deep pockets, then this is an opportunity. And CryptoPunks may be a bad example. Maybe something like cyber brokers that I'm personally still very excited about, because it's completely on chain. When it launched, it quickly rose to like 4 or 5 ETH. Now right now it's around 1.678 ETH, something like that.
And with ETH being down in price as well.
Exactly. So suddenly it becomes an opportunity. And still, I'm not saying that $2,000 is not a lot of money, but no, like
it is more affordable. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's right now $2,000 against $15,000 to $18,000 a couple of months ago. So opportunity.
Yeah, I think another one like that is World of Women.
Yeah,
that went to ridiculous prices at one point. But I'm just looking it up here.
It's all about the times as well. When they launched, like the timeline of when they launched in the hype phase, if you know, like World of Women was very like in the middle of the whole hype. So it was, and then some collections came at the tail end, some came at the start.
But it's interesting, right? I mean, right now, like which collections do you think will still have a prominent role during the next bull run? obviously CryptoPunks. Now, I'm not very eager to say it, but Bored Apes probably as well.
Meebits.
I mean, it's from Yuga Labs right now, so I would assume something happens there. But
yeah, like all the Yuga Labs stable.
Yeah, but through being told, like Meebits, haven't heard about that a lot recently. Maybe we can make a list. Maybe there's like 10 or 15 projects of which we think that they will survive this bear market.
There we go.
And you need to kind of evaluate, like, what are they promising? What have they delivered? And do you think they will be here 2 years from now?
Yeah.
Ian, that's a perfect example of why this man loves creation of content. He's always on the move, thinking of article ideas.
I know he's there, like he's basically doing his job on the call. What are you doing? No, but that's a good point. That's a good point. Like that, we should do.
No, definitely. I think that sounds good. Like, yeah, what is going to be there in the future, and then we can actually look in 2 years and be like, all right, I call that one. I call that one. I completely didn't call that one.
Exactly. One other thing I'd say is there, like when Rob said then, oh, what are we going to be looking at? And you said CryptoPunks and then Bored Ape, and then it's like. And I just think that's quite interesting that over a period of 18 months where we've just NFTs, I'm most looking forward to the shakeout. Can we get rid of all the rubbish, please? And let's see who's actually here to be serious and who's here to be an adult, basically.
There are a couple of more projects I'm really still hopeful about, like CloneX because it's Nike, Vox because it's in a wider Gala Games ecosystem. MetaKey by DCL Blogger. It's a very niche product, but it's
I've got one of those.
It's an interesting one because they are well funded and they keep building. So like there are a couple of projects out there that I have high hopes.
Also, Rob, have you seen the gameplay for MetaKey?
Yeah,
it looks quite fun.
Yeah, that's what my thought was as well. Like it's still alpha and it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks pretty solid for something that's basically independently developed.
Yeah. So. Right, we've got one more thumbs up or thumbs down. We'll make this one a quick one. Step App. The raffle ended, and I got 2 loot boxes.
Okay. Nah. Finally.
All that fit fire plunged in.
Yeah.
All that money spent for them empty boxes. Wicked.
We'll see what I get in them.
When will you know? So that will be like your show and tell next week. Like
no,
the contents
week,
of your...
because when they're not even revealing the contents of the loot box until they get their marketplace up and running. Oh. So I'll keep you updated as this story trundles along. But I have 2 loot boxes, so I'll get something.
Whoop, whoop.
Right, now let's move on to the first topic. Community call. Rob, give us an update on that, please.
Yeah, so community call for DappRadar. What does this mean? It's an update where we talk and present our progress and especially our future developments to the community, and we have some exciting stuff coming up. I will mention 4 things right now. Single token staking, as earlier mentioned by you, Charlie. It will launch next week. Da-da-da-dum. So next week it will be possible to stake your Radar tokens. Right now they will likely only exist on Ethereum. So you stake them on Ethereum and you can claim your rewards on BNB chain, Polygon, and of course Ethereum if you want to. But of course the idea is that you stake on one chain, claim on another, because you don't have to pay that many gas fees. So that's very cool. On top of that, we will introduce a system where you can not only stake in the regular reward pool, but you can stake on a dApp. So you can go to DappRadar, look for your favorite dApp. So you, Charlie, now you can go to the Step app.
Nice.
You can put your Radar on it, and that dApp page will get a boost. Now, what this boost means has not been revealed yet by our dev team, but personally, if I would, I would brainstorm about it. I would say it would be something like, okay, it's that page will get more features. It will it allows us to set up a relationship with the developer, and
it'll be more visible.
Maybe do some giveaways. Like there are different plays to it. But
ranking by it could be quite interesting.
Yes,
well.
yes. Ranking by most boosted dApps. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
We really show who's behind a certain dApp or not. Who are the real winners with the real people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of cool. Single token staking coming next week. Another one that should be live by the end of this week. Contribute to earn the first bounty. We will have a bounty where developers or Web3 enthusiasts can add NFT marketplaces to DappRadar. So of course there's some criteria for that. You need to have an account on GitHub. You need to follow the procedures and the guidelines for all that stuff. All kinds of technical stuff that I'm not really familiar with. But ultimately, you make an account on layer3.xyz. You connect to your Web3 wallet. You sign up for the bounty. You fulfill the bounty. The DappRadar team confirms it. It's like, okay, yes, everything is good. He provided the info we needed, and immediately payment will happen in Radar tokens. So that's a pretty cool system. It's the first bounty we're doing. So adding NFT marketplaces, and down the line we will add a lot more bounties. Not only technical ones, also content ones, graphic design ones. Etc. You can imagine, like, if you're a graphic designer making an infograph or promotion material, that kind of stuff. So we got a lot more bounties coming up for our community to participate, to help us build the world's App Store. Another exciting product, the mobile app, coming this Friday, if I'm not mistaken, to test flight on iOS. Only for pro users. So if you are a pro member, which means you have 5,000 Radar in your Web3 wallet, go to our Discord, confirm that you hold 5,000 Radar, then you will unlock the pro channels. There you can sign up for the test flight access. Pretty cool. You get early access to our app. We also work on the Android version, of course. The Android APK will be coming soon. But first, iOS test flight. And then the last one, gamification. That one is still far ahead. In Q3 2022, so that is this year. But we will launch gamification, which means users can level up. There will be seasonal content, and we will introduce soul-bound tokens. Those, if you've been up on top of the news, like Vitalik Buterin, the creator of Ethereum, he wrote a paper about soul-bound tokens. And what we will do is use soul-bound tokens as a diploma for your participation on DappRadar. So if you have done something technical or something, you've written something, it's very likely we will issue soul-bound tokens for that. But that's all still to be decided how that will exactly work. But soul-bound tokens will become part of our gamification system. And it will become part of you, because it means reputation. So your status will be designed not only by user levels but also by the soul-bound tokens. And those are like the 4 big highlights from the community call.
And when's that the soul-bound token? When's that launching? Did you say?
There's like the soul-bound token thing. It's still an early design phase. But the season 0 of gamification will launch by the end of Q3. So that's by the end. That's by, like, let's say September.
Do we have any idea what gamification will look like?
Yeah, it's imagine like you reading articles, for example, can earn you XP points, but perhaps very little. You upvoting and downvoting apps because they are cool or because they suck, or you signaling a scam token that can earn you XP. So and like down the line, the whole gamification system and the user levels that will intertwine with contribute to earn and bounties. So at some point there will be bounties integrated into gamification or vice versa. Nice. But you can imagine, like right now, like we have the bounties for adding NFT marketplaces. So people do something technical, requires maybe an hour, 2 hours. 10 hours. I don't know how much time, but requires a certain amount of effort, and you get money for that.
Cool.
If you upvote or downvote an app, yeah, you can't say for every downvote you get money. That's not scalable. That doesn't work. So we have a gamification system with leveling up, and I can imagine that's why I can imagine at some point the contribute to earn and gamification will merge more into each other.
Cool. Thank you very much. Right. So there we have the DappRadar community call. As I said, the link to it is in the show notes. So go and check it out for yourself, have a listen, see what the team's doing. But from one update there about things that sound like it could be quite complex for developers and things like that, something that sounds very, very, very simple and yet seems to be making a lot of waves on Twitter and social media at the moment is ENS names. There we go. Friends with benefits.
friENS.
Ian, talk us through ENS domain names. What are they? Where do they come from? Blah, blah, blah. What's happening?
All right, cool. So yeah, the reason we're talking about these is because they've kind of blown up over the last, say, year or so in terms of popularity. So what is an ENS? An ENS is an Ethereum name service, and its premise is to make crypto more accessible, I guess, by converting. We've got an image here, and this is my wallet address. So basically, if you think about when you're using your blockchain wallet, you have to use one of these big, long-ass numbers in order to, if say Robert wants to send me some crypto, I need to send a long-ass number. If he makes a mistake in that number somewhere, I'm not going to get my crypto, and he's basically just sent it off somewhere wild. So it turns this long, however many digit number into a simple name. And this name can then be attached. So you buy this, basically. You pay a registration fee, and I believe it's about $150. They're not super expensive to purchase. And you can choose anything. So if your name is, I don't know, Dandelion, you can try that. Some of them are obviously taken. They've already been purchased by other people. So sometimes you have to choose a variation. So these crypto addresses, they basically give people a simple way to send and receive money, to give you, it's almost like a personalized wallet address. And it's the same concept as DNS, really, which maps website names to IPs. And it just makes crypto addresses really easier to read. It supports .com, .org, .io, .app, and some more.
.xyz, is that right?
I'm not sure, to be honest. There's a lot of support for it, but the last time I was looking, it was .io, .app, .com, and .org. But I'm sure there's more now. That was quite a while ago. And the browsers that support it is Brave, Opera, Status, MetaMask.
Chrome must.
Yeah. Chrome, no, Chrome does not.
No,
not Internet Explorer anymore.
No, Chrome and Safari do not. Using MetaMask through there, then yes. But so it's like okay, so basically you've got these domain names, right? So you can shorten your big long wallet address down to this short name, and then something else you can do is you can add to that. So you can take your domain name of Kane.eth, and then maybe you want to add your wife to that because you want to give her a name. So you can just add a name before it, and then you create a new subdomain basically, and then you pay a fee for that. But the reason that we're talking about them is because they are NFTs. That's what they are. They're NFT digital items on Ethereum. So for some reason, amidst all the hype around NFTs, ENS decided to launch a 4-digit version of their domain name. So they released 10,000, I think that's right, 10,000 4-digit ENS names, right? Which is kind of close to a...
These are numbers, aren't they?
Yeah, 4 digits.
Yeah,
so like 1, 2, 3, 4. And obviously 0000 is like a good one, and quadruple 9 is also a good one.
I know that the Web3 world being the Web3 world, I know 6969 was quite popular as well.
Yeah, and there's other weird ones as well, isn't there? Like tags for gamers and like elite and just these things perhaps that maybe not all of us know about, but in certain worlds, certain numbers, super important. So we've got this 4-digit collection, 10,000 of them. And it suddenly became a thing where it did actually become a collection that people were then speculating on. They're like, right, well, there's only 10,000 of them. A little group formed around it called the 10K Club, and trading just started going pretty wild, basically. I think they were up to 15 ETH at their max. And they were minted at a cost of around $200, I think it was. So margins were big there. So then you got these 4-digit ones. So they made it onto the secondary markets. Everybody started trading them, and it kind of put ENS on the map a little bit. Now in May, we've had 3-digit ENS names. So if we just take a quick look at all of the sales, recent sales, so we can see here, look, you've got some 3-digit names, and this is the sale for that 090.eth, and that went for $40,000 ETH last week. What else have we got here? 654.eth. So the 3-digit ones have started to become pretty in demand. And then other ones as well, which are just kind of strange. 3-letter names, Jim.eth. Maybe somebody just really wanted that. Like, obviously, yeah, like if your name's Jim and you really want Jim.eth and you've got the money to back it up, then you can buy Jim.eth, right? So
27 grand.
Yeah, for 27 Gs. But also people were doing speculations on this as well, like in the .com boom, where people were buying website domains in the hope that they would then be in demand later. So people have bought all sorts of like Elon can't get his own name. Anyone famous, basically, who hasn't figured this out early is going to have to buy their name secondary on the secondary market.
But it does happen that celebrities buy the names. I know Paris Hilton bought ParisHilton.eth from the secondary market.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. I know Budweiser bought Beer.eth. Of course, it was like for a serious premium, like $150,000 or something.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
I just wonder what's the future utility going to be. I know that at the moment it's this speculation and people are hoping that it's going to go in price, so they're getting them in now. But is this assuming that the whole of the internet is going to be on the Ethereum blockchain?
No, because it's not only about you can connect all kinds of wallets to it. Like so you can connect your Ethereum wallet to it, right? That makes sense. But it's also it can also become a web domain. So you can have a website attached to it. So if you go to
like your identity, isn't it? It's like your web-free identity, as it were, and it's your hub,
it's your username, it's your website, it's your web wallet, it's your crypto wallet. It can be anything.
It's your everything and everything, yeah.
So it's much more than just an NFT, just a name. It has serious utility to it.
Yeah,
and very personal utility for that matter.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. And like,
go ahead.
Sorry,
no, I want to say I find the whole success of ENS, I love what's happening there. One thing I find weird, at ENS domains, you pay off for a certain amount of time. So you say, okay, I want to license. You're basically licensing the NFT.
Yeah.
So you're renting it for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever you want. You can say in advance. You can say, I want this domain for 20 years, and you need to make sure you renew it before it ends. And if you don't renew it, I don't exactly know what happens, but supposedly you lose control.
You lose control, or people can buy it off you if you on the day that you didn't renew. So you're right, actually, Rob, in that way. That's an interesting way to look at it, that you mint something which you then allocate a rental period to, almost like 20 years.
It is a rental period. Yeah. And that's why I think there's something like unstoppable domains, or those other naming domains like Tezos domains, or Tezos names or near names. Like those are systems where you buy the NFT, you buy the name. And I'm not saying ENS domain is not doing a good job. They're doing an amazing job. They probably have the best interoperability of all name services on the blockchain. It's just you don't really own it, and
right.
that's not really Web3. Even though the technology itself, that the thing that they're offering is super Web3. I don't think that their business model, but I also understand you need to have recurring revenue as a foundation, as an organization, else you can't exist. So I understand it, but I'm not quite sure if this is the way to go. Unstoppable Domains, another company does a similar thing. They have .crypto, .nft, blockchain, and various other domain names. I also have a name there, and you just buy it and that's it. There's no license. There's no licensing. You can do the same thing.
That one's forever, isn't it? Like that's just there you go. That's yours. And they're much cheaper as well. arguably not as sort of sought after.
Yes, yeah.
But before the 4-digit ENS names were also not really sought after.
No, that's true. Like the airdrop, I guess there's one thing it's worth mentioning. Yeah. The airdrop that happened last year really put ENS on the map at the end, because I was talking to Charlie about this the other day, and it's like, you know, people that like you and I, Robert, that grabbed an ENS name with a 20-year rent, let's call it. The airdrop was significant, and it basically left a very nice taste in your mouth about ENS and how amazing they were. So like people just kind of advocated it for a while after this. And obviously people were like, they'll do another airdrop. So everyone went out and got them. And then there was all sorts of rumors about Unstoppable Domains, Tezos Domains doing similar airdrops. So we're in a bit of a hypey phase on domain names right now. But more interesting, I think, is that ENS is perhaps one of the only non-ruggable NFTs in existence. Like their value can drop, you can mess up your rental period and end up losing it, but that would be your mistake, right? Not their mistake.
Yeah.
But it can't be rugged.
You can't run off for the money, you mean?
Not really, no.
And then stop developing them because it's just a name.
Exactly, and it kind of goes against everything that they're trying to do. So why bother with all this in the first place if you're just going to rug? There's many easier ways, arguably, to rug, right? This is not one of them. But it just occurs to me that as an NFT, it's kind of one of the only ones that cannot be just whipped away from you. And in the bigger picture, the reason people went wild for the digits, they're the first 4-digit domain names on Ethereum ever. That's why. It's like the first Picasso or the first Rembrandt, you know, in certain people's minds, Ethereum is OG. So you got to get the OG things with it.
Yeah, Ethereum is the OG. It's definitely the biggest one at the moment, isn't it? The big in terms of blockchain, who's building on it, and
that's it.
And the derivatives from it as well. Yeah.
Do you have a domain name, Charlie?
No, I was actually looking at them yesterday. Charlie's gone, would you believe?
What about Charlie Butler?
No, I'll have a little look for it actually. What, Charlie.Butler? Or just the whole?
Or just Charlie Butler.
Yeah.
.eat.
Right.
Or CharlieButler.eat. Charlie Butler.
Charlie Butler. I'll look for it after this show, and I'll see if I can find it there. Right, so that's blown up quite a bit over the past month.
Trading volumes are big. Like the numbers support the idea as well that people are trading it, and that there's a reason to pay attention to it. Are we advocating people to hop into ENS name 3 digits now? Probably not.
But to be honest, like if you can spend the money, get your own name.
Yes,
like,
that's quite fun.
Just get, in my case, RobertHogendorn.eat. Easy. Like if I ever need to share it, I share that. I don't do my 0x12ABC56 code number thing.
Yeah,
it's just my name.eat. How simple can it be? And that's honestly, in user experience wise, it's a blessing.
I mean, it's a lot easier to remember. Yeah, you're right. Than that whole long bloody code.
I can't believe anybody remembers those things. Like it's a case of always copying and pasting and little mistakes. And it brings that, like, it always makes me second guess. Even though I've copied it and pasted it, it's gonna be right. But I still believe in the back of my mind somebody's come in and made somebody screwed me over. Like
check, double check. You know, like okay, first 4 digits,
last
the same. Last 4 is the same. Just check a few in the middle. Okay.
In the middle.
Yeah, it should be.
You don't need this drama when everything else is already quite difficult. So just to simplify your life, even ENS is pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Rob, it was interesting. I think what you were saying about how you think it's maybe because it's only rental, it's not really true Web3. Because if you don't own it, then is it yours? And that kind of takes me on to the next thing I want to talk about, which was what's happening in DeFi at the moment. And the D being taken out of DeFi. Let me give you a quick few little facts of what's happened in the last couple of weeks. So Solend, a Solana lending platform, there was a whale wallet with so much leveraged in Sol that if the price of Sol dropped below $20, there was potential for Solend platform to collapse. So Solend ended up seizing the wallet with the aim of forcing it to cash out. And Celsius, everyone knows that story. There was basically a bank run on Celsius. It was founded in 2018 with $8 billion lent out to clients, $12 billion in assets under management. But in this recent episode, Celsius suffered 38,000 loss of ETH. So 38,000 worth of ETH was lost, followed by a $22 million loss in another transaction or thing that happened. Then they announced that they were halting withdrawals of cash and cryptocurrency due to extreme market conditions. So basically, the ideas of ownership and transparency went out the window when things got tough. So my question to you, Ian, at the moment is, have the rose-tinted glasses come off? And have we left behind the early days of Web3 idealism where everything was about ownership and security and transparency and everyone was doing it for the culture? Is that kind of those early days gone now?
Are they gone?
Were they ever there?
Were they ever there?
They certainly were there in all the marketing and stuff, weren't they? People
the marketing begged it hard, and we wanted it to be there. Was it ever really the utopian, idealistic place that some people painted it to be? No, of course not. We're talking about finance. We're talking about money. We're talking
and a lot of money.
We're talking about very important things here, and to believe that the world was simply going to become a level playing field after generations of it not being, no. So I don't think it's not over. Like, it's not over. What they're trying, I mean, the premise of decentralization is still reigning true. The applications are decentralized. The operations of such are, but what they spoke about mostly in marketing was decision-making power, right? That decision-making power shouldn't be centralized because it's dangerous and it causes these problems. So, but even after saying all of that, put yourself in their shoes. You control a business which is about to go insolvent unless you make actions and take steps to protect your business model and thousands of customers. What do? Just let the wallet. And the reason with Celsius was an interesting one as well, because two things. They did have a vote, and sorry, no, I'm confusing Solend and Celsius now.
Yeah, they're all kind of rolling up into one at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, sorry. With Celsius, the interesting thing I think is that it's a centralized platform, but it pulls on decentralized finance levers in order to give such high APYs. Specifically, they were engaged with Lido Finance's ST ETH, which is
they were staking ETH basically, weren't they?
Yeah, they were staking. But
and Anchor.
Yes, and this is beacon chain ETH. This is ETH that isn't redeemable. So they dug a massive hole and didn't act fast enough, and probably sat there looking at the markets thinking they might be able to get out of this, and then finally realized, oh shit, no, we're going to have to take serious action. So freezing people's accounts, okay, fair enough. That's really shitty what they did there in terms of how they handled it. And saving their business, on the other hand, to not liquidate everyone, I think is okay.
Yeah, that's the right choice.
And then just quick, Solend, they did have a vote, and this brings another question. So they had a governance vote about could they take control of this wallet in order to do over-the-counter trades. And that means basically, Charlie, you touched on it. If the price of Sol went to a certain level, this whale had a trigger on their wallet to sell, which is an automatic sell. So all that money just goes poof and uses the liquidity in Solend to do that, right? That would have collapsed Solend. So all they were suggesting is, can we break this up a bit? Can we find institutional buyers for this asset where we can just then make more reasonable sales, not such a
not
harsh
all at once and it just jumps onto the market.
Exactly. And I personally, again, logically don't see the big problem with doing that. But what we're talking about is decentralization, and should they have these powers? Well, the last thing I would say is that decentralization is fine, but people assume that governance is somehow equal in crypto. Like, we all have a say. It's often written, control the future of the thing you love.
Yeah, for the community, by the community.
Yeah, sure. You're going to control it. But the bigger your bag of tokens, the more control you have. So if you're just an average player of a game, you don't have a big bag, you don't have much of a say. You do have a say, yes, but not a big one. So when it comes to things like this, who's going to lose the most? Whales. Because it's them that are going to suffer here financially. So they pull the right strings, they make decisions. Is it right what they did? That's for us to debate. Personally, I think I'm kind of torn. You've got to save your ass and you've got to serve your customers. And arguably they're trying to do both at the same time. It's not easy, right?
You know, like I like your take on this. The thing that kind of struck me in both cases, by the way, is that it kind of feels like they had a good business model, of course, in the bull run. Things turn bearish, and suddenly it looks like they didn't know what they were doing. Like
exactly that, Robert.
Like
exactly
if that whale wallet would be there in the bull market, they would have not done anything.
No,
because in the bull market, everything is possible. Prices go up, everything is fun. Like, and I'm pretty sure that whale wallet wasn't there suddenly. Like, it's been there for a while.
Yeah,
it's been growing and accumulating.
I knew about it. Yeah.
So there should be there should have been a vote much earlier, stating, for example, a whale can have a maximum amount of X% in a wallet.
Yeah.
A wallet can only contain X% of the total pool.
Or if it gets down to $30, we can start taking it and doing this with it. Or you have to sell.
For example, but creating a safety net before it happens. Now it happens, and you get this shock reaction. Celsius the same thing. Like when prices go up, it's fun because prices go up, everybody gets richer. When prices go down and your bull mechanics no longer work, and you're over leveraged and you basically messed up. Yeah. Oh my God. Suddenly, and I mean, now I'm blaming Celsius and Solent. But to be honest, like this also happens in normal banking. Like, but I think everything's going up. Everybody is over enthusiastic and pumping money left and right.
Rob, I think my sort of comeback to that would just be that this wasn't supposed to happen in DeFi. People made stuff like Bitcoin and smart contracts and blockchains so that people could avoid these sort of crashes and authorities taking over and controlling our money or controlling the money. And it was all very idealistic, wasn't it?
That was you bought the marketing though a little bit.
Well, no, I
you know what I mean?
Bitcoin was made though. If you read the white paper, that's what they made it for.
Yeah.
Bitcoin was made so that it couldn't be controlled.
Sure, that's
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is in DeFi as well.
Yeah, that's Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
I do see where you're coming from though, and in terms of like how it's painted, and what Robert said, I think is bang on. Like the fact that they all of a sudden became very good at their jobs when they needed to. Prior to that, it was like they were just chilling on the beach with a cocktail.
Well, when prices go up, you can be, can't you?
Yeah. Shit hit the fan. Everybody became an expert trader. Oh, okay, if we put the... And what Celsius did was actually a stroke of genius in regards to rolling the dice that final time. Have they saved themselves? Probably not. A pretty shrewd move. And it just, like, how come... And that brings me to think about... We had a conversation on this call a while ago, I think, about crypto.com. And it was quite a while ago now, about 3 months. They did the same thing, right? They slashed rates. And at that moment in time, we were like, oh, why are they slashing rates? Why? That's shitty for customers. They were reacting to the market far earlier than these suckers did. They retracted their crazy APYs. They got their business model back in check. And now they'll probably ride the storm. We were quick to criticize, saying that, how can they do this? We lost our 10%.
At the time, we did say, is this the end of the good days, though? Have the good days come to a close? Are those stupid, crazy high APYs where you can just chuck in £1,000 and you get $2,000 back in like 2 months?
So basically, you guys jinxed it.
No, three of us.
You guys,
we ruined it.
Ruined the good old days.
It's like
also, you initiated Doomsday.
I must say that USDC is quite looking quite good, isn't it? Because all of these
euro peg as well. That's another.
All of these things wavered so much, and then USDC just stayed on that $1 mark the whole time.
Talking about stablecoins, something for you, Charlie, and only for you, because who the hell lives in Britain? Like a Tether pound is coming.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'll see how that goes before I buy in.
What do you mean? It's 20% APY, juicy as hell. Get in there, son.
I'm surprised though, because we're the only country that really uses sterling. Everyone, like the euro, obviously is a lot of countries. Everyone else uses the dollar over the world. So I wonder if there's a need for a cheap. Although there's lots of finance that goes through London, so I guess
there's even a stable coin for Turkish lira, which is,
is that stable?
a contradiction in itself.
It should be called an unstable coin, right? That's just crazy. But just to go back, Charlie, to answer your question, are they taking the D out of decentralization? No. The dApps are still decentralized. Decision making is still decentralized. The systems are running decentralized. I don't think that decentralized should translate into
complete anarchy,
safe bets. Like it,
yeah.
You can't think like decentralization of crypto wasn't going to stop market fluctuations, and cycles are part of the algorithmic processes of prices, and this will continue forever. Like you cannot have a constant up. So are they taking, was it always going to be the summer of DeFi? That's the real question. And the answer, unfortunately, is no. Like, so get over it, guys. It's time.
Yeah, you're right. The prices can't always go up.
No,
and in a system where anybody can launch a new token and a new project, there's always value fluctuating, and therefore prices will always go up and down. Like it would be nice to have at some point, like in the far future, to always be able to say, okay, now Ethereum fluctuates always between 10,000 and 12,000, something like that. To have sure, there's a wave, but there's a certain stability to it.
Yeah. And to think about banks, like people did this to try to combat what banks do, right? Like banks hold all the power. You give them your money, they make 4.5%, you get 0.5%. That sucks, right? In DeFi, you give them your money, you do get more money. You do get better kickbacks. You do get better rewards.
Yeah, but they get even more kickbacks, don't they? Remember?
Why shouldn't they get the kickbacks?
No. But the same as banks.
The product. They're the one without. I'm a big believer. Like I know a lot of people really hate on Amazon don't pay taxes or whatever. They provide a service and they should make a dollar for that. And I'll never begrudge them that. We make more in DeFi than we would using a bank. Is that mission accomplished? To some degree, yes.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And I think in time, these things will, as Rob just alluded to, these things will go into more of that sort of state as opposed to that sort of state, because it's early days, isn't it? As I said at the top of the show, volatile waters of Web3 at the moment.
Too many aspects.
And I think the crap stuff will get chopped away as people realize, here's an actual product that carries on working and is fairly stable, and somewhere I can put my money to make a bit of money hold it. So
it'd be nice to shake out all that clutter, wouldn't it? And actually,
I think the shakeout, and that will happen not just in this bear market, but over time as well. It's a very, very new industry.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Right. On that hopeful note, I think
opium.
I think we'll end the show. There we have it. We'll all say goodbye. We recapped on the community call. I think we've shown why ENS names may or may not be an asset for the future. It's one or the other, I think. It's 50-50.
Yeah, just one.
I'll get one. I'm saying
once you've got one, Charlie, it sways to 64.
BEER.ETH company worth 150 grand in 3 years.
I hope it is. You know what's kind of funny? If you would buy your Ethereum address .ETH.
Do you think anyone's tried to do that?
Yes, I'm pretty.
Rob, that's a great idea.
I can't be the first one to think of that.
I really want to go and do that now. That's genius.
Or by someone else's Ethereum address. And we're also still hoping that Web3 can remain somewhat decentralized. So join us again, same time next week on YouTube or Spotify. Thank you very much. Oh, and producer Annika, I'll see you down the pub later on. See you later, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
We weren't drinking yet?
Not yet.
Hey, where's Archie?
See ya.